Hello guys, and today we're going to talk about the finals that was in Roland Garros between Djokovic and Tsitspas, and we are going to talk about psychological parts of it all and what role really is it going to play in Tsitspas' life. What role did Djokovic play in winning this match? I mean, besides obvious, I'm talking about more about psychologically. And let's start here. So obviously Tsitspas lost, and he lost really, it was really disappointing loss when you're 2-0 up, in sets, and you lose a match like that. It's very disappointing, especially after his previous match against Djokovic, where he was, I think he even had, I don't quite remember, but I think he had match points in his previous match on Roland Garros, which was in fall, so not that far away, far behind. And this obviously, this is even more disappointing because a lot of times when you lose that very disappointing match, when you had all chances to win, but you still lose, it's like it leaves kind of like a scar. And Nadal actually did talk about it in his book when he lost one of those really disappointing matches against Federer in Wimbledon right before he won his first Wimbledon. He said that left a huge scar on his heart, and he really did try to do everything next time, and he did everything he could next time, and he won against Federer his next final on Wimbledon. So this is a little bit different scenario, right? Tsitsipas wasn't able to win this final, right? Even though he was so close to winning. In terms of psychology, what I think he should do, and what usually when you are in situations like that, when you feel like you're so prepared, and obviously like Djokovic, I like how Nadal said in his book about situations like that, but he talks about Federer in his book. Federer is like weather. If he does well, there is nothing you can do because he is playing so well, and so you just have to accept it and move on. And really, I think this is the key. I think this is the thesis of this video, right? Sometimes, especially with Djokovic, when you lose that momentum and you lose the match, there is literally nothing you can do. Even though it is so disappointing, even though you had many chances, you still have to understand that there is Djokovic on the other side of the net against you. And it's true for all levels, right, on which you could play tennis or do anything. Sometimes it's just quote unquote not meant to happen right at this moment, like certain things that we want in life, right? Whether you're doing sports, whether you're playing sports, whether you're doing regular jobs, sometimes it's just not meant to happen in that moment. And the best thing that you can do in that type of situation is to not blame yourself, do not ruminate over and over and over again about what has happened and what could have happened and why it didn't happen, and just move on. Because a lot of times things that happen in life and in sports is like a weather, and sometimes even though you've made certain mistakes, even though you maybe sometimes haven't done certain things, no single moment should define you and who you are. Even though that moment was huge, even moments like that, if you let them define you, then it's just like you are either a loser or a winner. But let's say even if he won that final, right, there is a life afterwards, so you can't stop whether you win or lose. You have to move on, and that's exactly what you should do. Never fixate on a certain moment or a certain event, right? And this is very unfortunate psychologically. It's very challenging psychologically, and it's hard to not really to not ruminate about what has happened and to not blame yourself. And it's very hard in those moments to have self-empathy. But what I think is a good mindset, and what I know actually is a good mindset here, is that life and sports and career, it's a long distance. It's not a short distance, right? It's not one tournament, two tournaments, or 1 year or 2 year. Obviously, especially for athletes, your career could end any moment. At the same time, I think it's so important to treat your life and treat your career as if you are a marathon runner, right? It's so important to treat it like that, simply because it just gives you space for mistakes, and mistakes are great. You can only reach success and I don't know, reach even great goals only if you allow this type of mindset. This is a starter distance, and that allows you to take off a lot of pressure from these single moments, right, that are happening in your life, like, for example, final of Roland Garros, or final of I don't know, some junior tournament where you could earn some advertisement, right, to get, where you can get contract with Nike or whatever that is for you. Treat your life, your career, as a long distance thing, and that just takes off, as I've already mentioned, a lot of pressure off of you. So obviously, if we're talking about Tsitspas and Djokovic, what I would do, right, if I was Tsitspas or someone on his team, I would obviously go back and look at everything, look at the entire match and analyze and think what could have been done better, at what moments maybe psychologically he wasn't able to, stay together. And maybe I think most of his loss was really mental, because it was that last push he couldn't do. But also Djokovic stepped up his game a lot. At the same time, I would analyze it maybe once emotions are gonna come down a little bit, and really try to never ever come back to this moment again, and really look forward, and really to look at it from gratitude standpoint, and look at what he has earned. He has earned experience, he has earned a lot of money, which is also great, and to really try to see this, as much as it doesn't feel like it, try to see this situation as cup half full. And for a regular person, it obviously seems like a cup is definitely more than half full. But when he is in that situation, he obviously doesn't feel that way. And in your life, if you lose, when you lose situations like that, matches like that, whatever it is in life, you have to always look at the situation at it as a cup half full. You can't have the certain goal and the certain set time by which you have to achieve this goal, and if you don't, then you're a loser. No, this is not how it works. You should be very, very, very great mindset for anyone really is to be very certain about what goal you want to achieve, but very flexible about how you're gonna get there, and in what time period you are going to be able to achieve it. That is really the most perfect scenario, really, for the most perfect mindset to actually achieve that goal, and really to live your life, because it's not a great way to live a life as if this is like to have all this pressure and live your life and really not to enjoy that final or even being a finalist, right? It's really not a great way to live. Also, another good thing here that he could do is to read other athletes' autobiographies. Almost the same exact situations have happened to Nadal, for example. And when you read other people's biographies, and when you really dig deep into what people actually have had to go through beyond the surface level, because on the surface level we only see achievements, especially in sports and in other areas of people's life, right? When you actually see what other people have had to go through, right? That people like Rafael Nadal have had to go through a similar situation on Wimbledon, and how he dealt with it and how he can deal with it. That's going to be such a huge support. Obviously, psychologist is great, but depending on whether or not he believes psychologist could help him, or whether he meets the right psychologist for him, that's not really certain whether he wants to actually work with a psychologist. But this is something he definitely, or you definitely should do, because it's really, really helpful to have someone as a role model who have gone through situations similar to your situation, and who have experienced this type of very disappointing losses, this very disappointing situations that really, really sucked. And to really look up to them, and to see and to associate yourself with them, to really take part of their identity for yourself, to be able to overcome a certain situation, a certain disappointment, a certain loss. I think it's great thing. I personally take my own advice on this, and I actually try to do that myself, and I recommend that to Tsitspas or you, whoever you are watching this video. And thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, click all the buttons. Don't click unsubscribe button, because that's just don't click unsubscribe button. Go to my channel, watch my other videos. I also have another video on Djokovic. And thank you, as I've said, so much for watching this video till the end, and I'll see you in the next one.